is who people are the most interested in, and I really would love for you to comment and tell me what it is, what's the appeal, why do y'all love her so bad?
Hi, and welcome to Gabs with Abigail, where we talk about the Bates and the Duggars. So let's talk about the Bates and the Duggars. So I made this channel basically because I was just looking for this content and it wasn't out there. So I was like, let me just create it. Let me start the conversation myself. So if you watch if you listen to Dishing on the Duggars, I want to say that this is kind of going to be similar to that, except just more informative on the actual Duggars and Bates. What I hated about that show was just sometimes it was as though they knew nothing, except for Chelsea, and I think she is still writing and maintaining their family stuff on whatever magazine that they represented. But it just got to a point and that's why I think so many people complained to the point where they canceled it. Just that none of the people that were on the show knew anything about the Duggars, so it's kind of why are y'all bothering to comment on it? So that's kind of what the content I was just been looking for. And there have been some other things Without a Crystal Ball and stuff like that. But I just didn't feel like it was really still what I was looking for, especially Without a Crystal Ball really kind of focuses on, just it gets negative over there. This isn't going to be a super snarky page, but we will definitely talk some tea. But yeah. So let's get into it. So today, like I said, we're going to be ranking everybody's Instagram. And so when I decided to make this video, what I asked myself is, okay, if everybody posted a photo right now and I got a notification saying that about every single person, who am I sliding first to see the photo? And then basically from there, I counted myself backwards. So asking yourself that question, let's get right into this list. Brandon and Michael Kaylin, Michael Nee Bates. So I just kind of feel like they're just Instagram just isn't that interesting. And I think part of that is because of their IBLP-ness. And so it's just really they have no personality on their Instagram. I think really it's as though it's a page for somebody who's in their 40s or 50s. And I'm not trying to be negative. I just really think it's just their IBLP-ness in terms of growing up as a little mini adult and just skipping being a teen younger and going right into adulthood. They just kind of are at a point mentally, I don't want to say developmentally, but mentally where it's they're 30 or 40 plus. I know they are 30, but I don't know, just it's almost like they're from a generation that didn't have all the access to internet that our generation has, and in many ways growing up fundamental and IBLP-ish, they probably haven't had that access, especially since they're the oldest, at least Michaelis. She's the oldest of her family in terms of the sisters. So really deep, heavy into that fundy, culty lifestyle in terms of the limited use of internet. So it's not as though when MySpace was big, she had a MySpace, or when Facebook was starting to get popular, she was one of those people who went to college, and because Facebook used to be just for college kids. I remember when my sister had it. But so it's their page is just almost being run by a middle-aged adult who isn't of our generation, so it's not interesting. And I know that there are plenty, and I know also part of it, the reason why their page isn't as interesting as her siblings is going to be definitely because they don't have any kids. But I hate to say that just because I know they're having problems with infertility, so that seems super negative. But I feel that's why I want to go to their page, is to see are we getting that kind of announcement, as depressing as that is. And it feels saying that feels super intrusive. So it's almost kind of one of those things where I'm with everybody. I'm just praying and hoping that they will be able to have a baby. But at the same time, it's almost kind of their best childless life could use a better filter. But maybe, saying that out loud feels very superficial. And, not everything needs to be sugar-coated and put a nice, happier filter over it. But in many ways, we already get that from them. So that's why I can't feel super bad about saying that, because part of the reason why their page is so like boring is that there's no personality to it. And it's very true that genuinely could be just literally what it's like to be around them, is that there isn't much personality. They're very heavy into the whole IBLP, the character traits, and things like that fully. But I don't know. I just feel like it's unfortunately like taking away from their Instagram or media presence. But I understand also that I think for them and their ministry and where they'd like to go with things, that's not their number one concern, is having a strong social media presence. I think more than anything, like they have a page where they sell things, that kind of thing. I'm sure they want to see that in terms of financially, like how that helps them. But I guess they don't really care about, the other Instagram-ish stuff, like who they need to follow them kind of already follows. Like I think they already kind of are set, and like they need the Dave and Sills, of the world to follow them. They don't need necessarily the kind of age group that would be attracted to, say, like Josie or Carlin's page. So yeah, theirs is just the least entertaining for me right now. So the next Instagram is going to be Jana Duggar. So Anna's page, she actually hadn't been posting. And so when I first started getting back into Instagram is when Anna started posting on Instagram as well, which was kind of just interesting and like exciting to me, because it was post Josh scandal that basically, since that happened, like even just the last post that she had, it was kind of like you could tell it was like literally the scandal just happened. And then slowly but surely she started posting again. And for a minute I didn't actually follow. I would just check in here and there, and I was like, oh, let me just follow, since it looks like she is starting to like really post regularly again. And yeah, literally. So it's been interesting just to see the kids. She basically skipped all of Meredith's childhood and Mason's infancy for the most part, but she started posting again before he turned like 1, I think. I'm pretty sure. Either 1 or 2, I'll check that. But yeah, and so then for her to have baby number 6, basically take social media with her on that experience, when we think about like the birth of Meredith and Marcus being so kind of like stressful, yeah, so it's been interesting. And just to see her post pictures of Josh and having everybody like still making those kinds of comments and things that to say on it, no matter what, no matter when. And I that's not to say like the public should be over it, but I just think it's fruitless to make those kinds of comments on her page. She's still married to him. Like, I think her bio says happily married, so I just feel like I don't get the point of doing it. I know part of it is trolling, part of it is just being that upset, but at the end of the day, she's not going to leave him. She's got 6 kids with him at this point. It just seemed very futile to be making those kinds of comments when she has taken very seriously. I mean, these are people who are deeply Christian, to be married to this man. So I don't get it, but people are going to keep doing it, and it is what it is. Like it's weird. Like, to me, I can even almost understand it more on the Duggars family, like Duggar fam page, making those kinds of comments of, well, I can understand complaining on the Duggar page about seeing him, but like on his actual wife's page, like the father of her 6 kids, I just feel like it's stupid. Like, dumb. Just dumb. In general, I just think Anna has an interesting social media presence. Out of all of the siblings, she is the only one who kind of like follows and actively comments and likes some more conservative leaning political people. Jill follows. I think she might like, I don't really keep up too crazy with Jill, I guess, in that sense. But yeah, it's just really interesting. Like, I think one of the Duggar brothers like mowed Trump into one of their little areas that they mow, and she took a picture and posted it. And there have been other occasions, I think, that she might have like either mentioned Melania Trump or something to that effect, that of like being very open and vocal that she supports Trump. Now, also Anna is from Florida, so that doesn't surprise me. That's Trump territory. That she would be so like kind of like open and vocal about it. The whole family, obviously, it's not surprising that they support him. But I guess again, it's that being very open about it politically, even though we know what their beliefs are. It's one thing to say I believe in this person. It's another to be very open about supporting them. There's just been so much controversy surrounding Donald Trump. But at the same time, Anna isn't on the show, so I guess that's also neither here nor there. There's plenty of brands who would openly say that they support Donald Trump, for that to not be a big deal, to have somebody who does representing their brand. I'm not making comment on this to say anything negative about that, but just like that it's been interesting for her that she has, because I would never expect Jessa, Ginger, or like Carlin to make a post saying like, yeah, Donald Trump, you know what I mean? Like, yes, as much as I'm sure that they got into a booth in November of 2016 and voted for him, and will do the same thing in November of 2020. But it's definitely interesting when you are vocal and openly align yourself with that. I know Without a Crystal Ball has commented that there have been some tweets from Anna that she was surprised about, that she, felt like were probably Josh. I disagree. I think it gives Anna too little credit for her own autonomy in terms of what she believes. And I think that's like a thing with giving white women too much of a pass in terms of things that we might question as objectable. But at the same time, let me say that her post wasn't really necessarily saying that Anna doesn't agree with this, but she just felt like the language and the tone of it sounded more like Josh. And I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Even if it didn't sound like her, that it not be something that she believes in and supports wholeheartedly. I don't believe in giving people that kind of pass, especially like, just no offense, white women, just because you guys have had a pass a lot. So if you believe it, you believe it, and you stand on it 10 toes down, is how I feel about it. And I absolutely think Anna has been one of those people who's more vocal about it. Jill M. Dillard, the OG Rebel Duggar. And honestly, the only true Rebel Duggar. Yeah, I said it. At number 14. As much as I say that, like, I just feel like Jill's Instagram just isn't that interesting to me. I don't know, just to me. It's just not that interesting. Even now, like, I know with all this controversy and everything, I don't know, I'm just not that intrigued. I don't know if it's because of the blog post type thing and stuff like that. I guess I feel like Jill, I would say, is kind of similar to my complaints about Michael's page, which is that it's almost like you're from this Instagram internet access generation and don't know how to use it still. Now, at the same time, I will definitely say that, again, similar to Brendan and Michael, she's second born daughter, third, fourth, technically, child, within the Duggar family. So I can understand, like, being very deep and sheltered from that, why she might not be so good at the whole Instagram thing. But at the same time, like, Jess is only a year younger, Ginger's only 2 years younger. Hell, Jana's a year older, and I just feel like is also better at it. And it's like weird because she's had the Instagram for the longest, that she hasn't gotten better at it in the sense. I don't even want to say that, like, yeah. I just feel like for the most part, her moments aren't perfectly curated photos. And I'm not saying that Instagram has to be, but I don't even know what it is for me about Jill's page that's just not, like, super, like, interesting. I don't know. Maybe, I don't even know. Well, that's why I put her where she puts her. Like, you would think with all, like, the controversy that she's going through right now that it would be higher in terms of, like, being interesting. But I guess, again, it goes into that whole, like, covering and hiding that she and the others do, where I don't want to say that we don't see most of her personality. It's just, I don't know. I guess just Jill, you get very much, regular living in Arkansas life vibes, and that could honestly be what she wants. And that it's just nice to be making the extra money here and there from YouTube and blog posts, visits and stuff like that. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like her Instagram just isn't intriguing to me. I don't know. Maybe if she has, I feel like, it's crazy. I feel like even if she had a third baby right now, it still probably wouldn't be that, interesting. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's because Derek's in school and they're chilling, and I have no idea what it is. But I just feel like I've always felt this way. I just never thought, Jill's Instagram is that interesting, which is crazy because, I definitely think she's probably the most interesting of all her sisters. So, in terms of, rebelling, she's the most interesting. I think Jill's the most interesting. I just don't think her Instagram is interesting. It's weird. I just feel like her story is really interesting. Her life itself is interesting, but, looking at the actual photos that she takes of it is just, kind of boring. If I'm being honest. I don't know. I just don't think it's that, intriguing. I have no idea. Hers is more so an Instagram. It's I don't need to follow. I just need to go every 1-2 months and kind of scroll through what you posted and be intrigued, which is kind of the point of her blog, when she'll post photos from the month of May and month of March. But I don't know. She's carving her own path. I like Jill. It's definitely no hate. I just don't think her Instagram itself is that interesting. Even though she herself and her story is very interesting. I'm definitely staying tuned for the whole Derek TLC counting on saga. Yeah, but I don't know. I'm just not that interested. I think, again, Jill is the most interesting. First daughter to wear pants. First daughter to get a nose piercing. Still the only one to get a nose piercing. She was really the first one to move away completely from the parents. Again, it says, I just feel like too much credit is given to Ginger, but she moved out the country. And while part of that wasn't entirely their decision in terms of how they were going to live their life, I think she still did that in a way that her siblings did not. And I think that she doesn't get enough credit in that way in terms of being very far away and living on your own, where it's because everybody is so rooting for Ginger because she's expressed wanting to move out, just wants her to be this rebel when it's just literally always been Jill. Period. Jill put her kid in kindergarten. Period. Okay? I cannot tell you how exhausted I am with hearing that Ginger is this and that and the hype surrounding Ginger when it's just Jill, been the OG rebel, still is, still, breaking barriers, opening doors, etc. So, Ginger, you're still welcome at the house without your dad there. You're not, she's not the rebel. And that's not to say Ginger wants to be, but everybody tries to make Ginger Jill. It's Jill. It's just, and it's probably for reasons why I'm describing why Jill is at 14. Her Instagram isn't that interesting, so we just forget, Jill openly talks about sex in a way that none of her siblings do. How refreshing is that? I feel that's part of the reason why Counting On is so boring, is that we're talking about the adult children. So we should get that kind of content from them, and it can be modest, you know what I mean? You can talk about sex without it being pornographic, but we want them to in more adult situations, and the adult situations are curated still by their parents who are living in 2004, and so we're just getting so much of this wholesome freaking content, and it's we want wholesome, but we want a little bit of wholesome too, within their marriage, let them talk about it, so, and even for that, Jill is the rebel in terms of being open about sex is really great between a marriage, and maybe for the other siblings, I just kind of doubt that it's the case that they haven't enjoyed sex. It's just that their parents won't let them talk about it. And I get it. On their TLCS TV show that you can't talk about sex there, I guess. But I don't know. There are other ways that they could, the innuendo. They could make it spicy, just a little bit. Give us something. In that aspect, that's why Jill's off the show. Because she was y'all not letting me grow up. And that's annoying. And I agree. Sex is a part of marriage. Keep talking about it. What was it like your first night? Were you nervous? Those are the kinds of things that are going to draw ratings that people want to see. And even if they're trying to keep it conservative and wholesome, like, let people know, young people know that this is what they have to look forward to in marriage. Like, I don't know. I like Jill. I love Jill's energy. I love where Jill's going. I love how she is coming into herself outside her family. I just think her Instagram is boring, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you can have a boring Instagram. If she, I hope she's still making her money. Also, I will say what I like about Jill's sponsored posts. She does tend to have sponsored posts that are different from her sister, more local small business stuff and things like that, which is interesting. Or maybe not local, but smaller businesses, or just link ups and sponsorships. That's like, this is weird, but okay, cool. I'm intrigued. So, yeah, but I like Jill. Rooting for Jill, Team Jill. We're hoping to see the best on the other side of what all is going on, but like, yeah, just don't think her Instagram is that interesting. 13. Zach and Whit Bates. Oh, I love Zach and Whitney's relationship. Love it, love it, love it. But I will save that for the episode about couples. I love their relationship, though. I think it's so cute. I like their page. I think their page is super cute. I think it's so well done. I think the reason why I don't like it that much is they don't post a lot. So I feel like, Whitney, if you posted more, you would be higher on this list. But I get it. Like, you're living your real life. This isn't, you know. I just think that their family life is so cute and attractive that they could be doing so much more with it. You know, just simply by posting more photos, or posting more frequently, I should say. Literally, that's it. Well, actually, let me say this. I think Whitney has the most interesting background story that we don't hear enough about. And I want to know more about it. I want that tea. Like, I definitely do. Like, the idea that you were adopted at 13 or put into foster care or whatever, what may have you, and then made up with your family. They didn't go to your wedding, and then they went to your vow renewal. Like, what is the story and the tea behind that? We will probably never get it on record because of, like, wholesome TV goodness that is bringing up Bates. But I hope we hear that story and that testimony someday at some point. Like, I'm waiting for it. If I get a chance to ask, I'm asking. Period. But I do think, and also I feel like it would just help to even make their love story even sweeter. To me, it has, but I'll save that for the couples episode. But yeah, I love it. They had the new baby. I love seeing Zach be an excited dad. That's super cute. I like their page. It's adorable. Again, I loved seeing the pictures of Chloe and Casey's room. Erin did such a great job with that. Just cute. Pretty page. Love it. It's like just the perfect amount of like sharing the kids. Whitney doesn't post pictures just by herself. Like, she had the Fabletics post, but she doesn't really post too many selfies. Again, it'll be Zach and Whit Bates, so it'll be her and her husband, her and Zach, the kids, you know, the family, etc. But I think her page is cute. The pics are cute. Filters really good. Yeah, and again, another person who's my age and has 3 kids. Love to see it. Number 12 is number 11 of the Bates family, and that is Miss KG Bates 2000, Katie Grace. I like Katie's page. It's cute. I feel like the reason why her page is so low on the list is because she doesn't post a lot. She doesn't post often enough for me to be like, yeah, this keeps my attention. Like, I don't follow Katie on Instagram. Like, my like page for this account does, but like my regular, I don't, just because she posts every like 13 months, you know, which is dramatic. She doesn't, but she just doesn't post a lot. For Katie, she's not trying to build any brand around her Instagram. So for her, I don't think it's the same kind of concern as like her sisters have in that sense. So that's why her page doesn't really show that kind of thing. But I think her pictures are super cute. I love seeing her style. She always comes up with really clever, funny captions because that is her personality. Yeah, I think Katie's page is cute, and we'll see how it goes. She's just very, very young at the same time. Like, so even like watching her have a boyfriend is like apprehensive to me because she's so young. And like her grandma had even commented like, oh Lord, I hope this one waits longer to get married because her and, you know, her heroes, Josie and Alyssa got married at 18. I won't say her heroes, but her best friends among her sisters both got married super duper young. I think just gratefully she's with somebody who won't get married young, who won't propose young, so they'll have plenty of time to like really enjoy each other. It just probably will suck that they won't, kiss, whatever. But I think Katie's page is cute. Like I said, she doesn't really have a brand or anything that she's building around her image and her name, so it's to her, like that's part of why she doesn't post that much. It doesn't matter whose attention she's capturing, because for her it's just kind of like, it's my Instagram, it's public because of like my family, but I'm not necessarily like looking for followers to show anything but my life. And that's literally what her bio is, living my best life, and of course Jesus. Everybody has something about Jesus in their bio. On brand. Okay. But yeah, I mean, even that she has an Instagram and is one of the people in her family who isn't courting, who had one before they turned 18, and so did Carlin and Josie. So we haven't seen that from any of the Duggar kids. Any of them have an Instagram before getting married or being obviously Jana aged. You know what I mean? So, except for the boys, but we know boys get a special exception. Because she posts so little, that's what makes her pictures feel even more extra, like these are perfectly chosen, selected, filtered, caption thought about for 3 days. You purposefully thought about how this was going to look against your layout, etc. type thing. So that to me is why she isn't higher on the list, but I do think her Insta is cute, for sure. And if she wanted to brand herself at some point, it probably wouldn't be like a crazy journey for her to do. Number 11. I feel like it's going to shock people where this one is on the list, but it is Jana Marie Duggar, Jana M. Duggar. When Jana first got on Instagram, everybody was super excited, like, oh my god, yes, Jana's gonna post a courtship, she's gonna post an engagement, a boyfriend, and that was a lie. And everybody was like, okay. Just to shut that down real quick, it was just kind of like she wanted to have an Instagram, so she made an Instagram. Period. Pooh. I like Jana's Instagram. I was excited for her too. Not even because of like the whole boyfriend aspect. I wasn't expecting her to have a courtship or anything like that when she first made an Instagram. I literally just figured she wanted to have an Instagram. Here she is on Instagram. I guess to me, it made it more stressful that like knowing how much pressure it was going to put on her or comment about the whole boyfriend thing. Like, again, that's part of the reason why I didn't like dishing on the Duggars, was that constant, oh, poor Jana type thing. Yeah, I just feel like her Instagram's gotten a little boring as of late. And the reason why is just she's been very funny. But if you're branding yourself in any way, please be yourself. Like, can your brand actually reflect your personality and what it is that, who you are? And I feel like when people on Instagram, especially like the Duggars and the Bates, especially the Duggars, I'm going to say, like, they don't show who they are but what they are. You know what I mean? Like, I am a gardener. I am a builder. I am a drawer. Those kind of things. But it's kind of like, yeah, but are you funny? Are you compassionate? Are you a one-liner? Are you witty? Do you have, it's like, that's what we want to see. That's why we're following you outside of just the television show, is that we want to be able to see the more intimate parts of you and your personality. And so I just kind of feel like that's what's lost. I like that, seeing like Jana's drawings, because I never knew she could draw. So like hearing all of like, Jana is a Jana of all trades, and getting to see that on her Instagram has definitely been cool. Seeing her travel, alone, like not without her father, without a chaperone, that kind of thing has been interesting. She's not an ugly woman. She's single, so I'm sure she's had times when men have approached her, just in general, like, and she has alluded to the fact that she's talked to men, she's been in relationships before, and it just hasn't worked out. It's just not very on brand, or like in general, like just to have a relationship not work out, to want to post that everywhere and talk about it. I know I don't have anybody I want to talk about that I dealt with in the past and be like, yes, I'm single right now, but let me share with you about all the relationships that didn't work out, because I feel like that would be fun. Like, hell no. So, but I just feel like I want to see more of her personality. Like there was the episode when she was helping out with John David's wedding, and she like gets into like a disagreement with her brothers and Laura, about like where to move something or to hang something or something like that, and she got like testy and spicy, and I was like, yes, like let us, like, yes, like, yeah, let's see this all the time. Like when she was posting her videos about things, projects she's doing, that kind of stuff, like, yes, let's see your personality. Like, what do you look like as a leader? Like, you're a boss and you're a bossy. Like the fact that her and Jessa used to like clash heads when they were younger just speaks volume to the type of personality like Jana Big Sister has had, and like that just we haven't seen. And even in like the episode, there was a competition to like make the groom's cake for John and Abby's wedding, and it was Jana was on a team, and like Jessa was on a team, and Lauren and Kendra. I think Kendra won. Kendra made her cake twice. I love Kendra for that. But when they were giving out awards, John David gave her, Jackson, and Tyler, that was their group, the award for most difficult. And like that was like such like gender, like such shade between sister and twin, which is that like Jana has a difficult personality, which I think she probably does. Like I just feel like, yeah, she's like she's strong, like difficult. She likes things her way. I feel like she's probably been like a daddy's girl. Like she really is Jim Bob's one of his favorite daughters, her and Jessa. Her for being Precious' firstborn, who's done all the things that she's needed to do for like him, the family, and being a strong, female leader. But we don't get to see that in her Instagram. It doesn't translate, and I want to see more of that. Personally, I feel like that would make her Instagram and her brand more successful. There's the video of her playing the keys, like pedaling the piano. So cute. I just think that was so cute because it just showed a quirky little adorable like Jana. She's short, so I don't know. I just want to see more of her personality on her page. Yeah. But it's how can we ask that? Like when they're just, a lot of them are just deep in the funny Kool-Aid. So, and that's no shade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with honoring your parents, being grateful to them, etc., thinking they're your best friends. At the same time, cool, we've known that about you your entire life, though, bro. Let's see something juicy. Like I said, Jana is one of my faves. She's one of my faves. I will talk more about her in the couples episode. Number 10, Austin and Joy Forsyth, which is no longer in many sense because Austin has his own Instagram, which to me is interesting, which to me that's tea. Like, so what about the family Instagram that wasn't enough for you? Like, why did you need to have your own page? How was that conversation? Like, part of the reason they probably even do like the family Instagrams is to keep like themselves accountable as Christians and stuff like that, like no wandering eyes and stuff, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I think she should definitely change it to Joyanna Forsyth. When she does change to like Joy Forsyth, she should be Joyanna Forsyth. I just feel like that. Joy Forsyth. Joyanna Forsyth just rolls off the tongue better. Joyanna, Joy, yada yada. But yeah, again, the only reason why I would say I put theirs before Jana's is just because, like I said, as of late, I just kind of felt like bored with Jana's Instagram. And they're having the baby after just having had like the stillbirth, that's miscarriage, so it kind of makes you intrigued, wanting to follow along, making sure like, this is a healthy pregnancy and everything like that. I think, again, though, my problem with their page, why it isn't higher ranked, is one, I don't like the filter that she uses on her photos. It's so orange. That's probably why Austin wanted his own page. He was like, no, I'm not feeling the aesthetic. It's really not my vibe. Like, it's just really, really orange. Like, it's really weird. But what I think her Instagram isn't that interesting is because I feel like when we've heard about the family, like describing Joy and just, of course, describing their family dynamic, we always hear her being joyful and like, oh, Joyanna, that where there's joy, there's joy. Like almost like she's always saying something funny and amusing and entertaining. And that's kind of the vibe that you get. And we've seen small clips of her like being that way, but I feel like we never get like that full blast, full tilt. And I know part of that is, of course, again, that carefully cultivated image that, you know, Jim Bob Duggar has wanted to maintain of his family, and that in turn, like, that they have projected on their kids as their public image. But it's just so boring, like, on her Instagram to not be able to indulge in that part of her personality, because from like the little clips that we have got, it looks interesting. It looks fun. Like, oh, like, yes, Joy really is funny. Like, even that Sierra is supposedly one of her best friends. Knowing Sierra's personality, that would make sense in terms of how everybody describes Joy, which is just that, like, yes, this does look like somebody definitely who you would be close with or be your best friend, because you would have similar senses of humor. But where you would get that out of Sierra's Instagram, I would never say that about Joy's. I would, like, it's just, you don't at all get that part of her personality. It's just like looking at photos. It's almost kind of like her being the tomboy of her family. It's interesting, like, when you finally have this autonomy, being an adult, having your own Instagram, having your own internet and media, to not like share this part of you. And I can only assume maybe they feel like it's from so that they can maintain like sponsorships and investor, I don't even know, advertisements, whatever, what may have you, that it's just within there, it's a better choice to keep having this sort of like docile, you know, chill, emotionless, I should say, personality or media presence. Which just to me is like interesting. Even when they had like, Austin is really into that whole freedom, whatever page, I forget what it is. Freedom something. Freedom thinkers, free thinkers, free something. Just how, even I feel like maybe that's why he wanted his own page, so he could talk about that kind of stuff more, and she wouldn't have to, because it maybe would get controversial politically and affect some of her advertisements. I don't know. Maybe that's what went into that conversation. But even like that, I feel like I don't want to see that as being your personality for your Instagram. I want to see your own actual personality. Like, that's okay if this is in the back burner of your beliefs. I don't even see the back burner if it's part of your beliefs, but like, let's get your personality out of it. Like, please, you know. I just kind of feel like that would make her page more interesting. You know, but not that it's bad, like, not that it's uninteresting, because clearly I follow and clearly I put it as number 10 on this list. So, yeah. All right, number 9. There's going to be a lot of controversy about this one, because I feel like everybody's going to feel like this was their number 1, or like, oh, definitely their top 5. And so I hate to say it, everybody's favorite girl, Ginger Volo, is number 9. Now, the reason why she's number 9 is just kind of again. If you liked this video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on Instagram for all updates and new videos. See you for the next gab.